Hi everyone. So last night we were unable to meet in person because of that snowstorm that blew through Denver, and I wanted to still give you the presentation from that was planned for last night so you could work on the technique until we meet again in a couple of weeks. This presentation is really about working with the body's energy, which, as you know by now, affects your mental awareness. And those of you who've done meditation classes with me before are also quite familiar with this relationship. And this is important because one thing that we're battling as everyday regular people with jobs and families and things like that is that our normal state of mind may not be conducive to nighttime awareness. And I experienced this myself last week. I was doing a lot of writing, and I'd find myself up till 10 or 11 o'clock at night doing my writing and then going to sleep or trying to go to sleep, but laying in bed for another hour with my conceptual mind spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'd be just exhausted. So for me, doing that activity last week was really challenging and it seemed to block out a lot of possibilities for me. And then a couple nights ago, I went back to my normal thing of going to sleep at a decent hour and without having been on the computer right before bedtime. And suddenly the dream awareness came back stronger than before. So the energy work that we're going to do today in this video is a way to work with our energy so that you have another tool in your tool belt to use with your nighttime practices. And we're going to do 3 different exercises. One is going to be just using the hands, and you could do it sitting down or standing up, and when I do that for you, I'll be standing up. And then the other one also involves the hands, but our awareness is more in the entire torso of the body. And then the third one we're going to do in the sitting meditation posture. And all 3 of these exercises are actually taken from the Taoist Qigong tradition, or Qigong as some people call it. And I'll explain it as we go along, but a little more of introduction about that. Our subtle energy works in a certain systematic way in the body, and different traditions explain it in different ways. But the basic concept is if your subtle energy is blocked in certain parts of your body, it's going to affect your awareness. If it's flowing smoothly, that's going to affect your awareness for the better. A lot of people equate the flow of energy with whether or not the body is physically healthy or in dis-ease. So this is actually beneficial for you physically as well as mentally. And the basic requirement for doing these practices is to just be relaxed the whole time that you do them. And then the other way that you want to apply these practices besides just relaxing is when do you do them? You want to do them when you're getting ready to go to sleep. That's one time. Or you can apply them to the wake back to bed method. And if you remember, that's when you set your alarm for the time at night when you tend to notice that you have your long REM periods. So from your dream diary, if you've been marking what time you've been waking up at night to record your dreams, you should see a pattern there that maybe you're a 3 a.m. kind of person, that's when your REM periods really start. And that's when you first wake up in the middle of the night and notice that you're having these vivid dreams. Maybe you're a 4 o'clock person or a 6 o'clock person. If you can sleep in after that, that's really great. And on weekends, we should all take advantage of being able to sleep in. But so if you use the wake back to bed method, let's say you set your alarm for 3 o'clock in the morning, instead of just sitting around and waiting to go back to sleep, you could do these exercises at that point to freshen up your energy, to brighten it, and then let it just smooth out as you drift back to sleep. And you can combine it with your other methods, like setting your intention that next time I'm dreaming, I'm going to recognize that I'm dreaming, or whatever other technique you use. If you've been experimenting with the herbs that you received or that you got at the last class that we were at together, and you find that the herbs work for you, you could combine them. You could start by making a quick cup of tea, drink it, and while it's absorbing into your system, do these energy practices, and then let yourself drift off to sleep while you set an intention. So I'm going to shift now, and we're going to change scenes to the first exercise, and it's best if you just do it with me, and then we'll do the third one, or excuse me, then we'll do the second one, and then the third one, and I'm going to piece these all together for you. So you could actually follow along with them every time that you use them. But give it a go, and I'll talk more about it as I explain it. Okay, so for this first exercise, we're just going to work on feeling our own body's energy, and we're going to use our hands for this exercise. If you're sitting down, just try and sit in a more erect way, but still very comfortable. If you can do it standing up, then that's great, because then you can follow along with me, and that way more of your own entire body's energy flow is involved. So first, let's work on the posture. I'm going to start by turning to the side so you can notice a few things. My feet are parallel, so my toes are pointed forward, or maybe even a little bit inward, but you want to make sure you're not doing anything to hurt your knees or your ankles. The next part is that your knees are a little bit bent, so you're not locking your knees. All your joints are going to be a little bit open there so that the energy can flow through the joints. The other thing is that my tailbone is directed a little bit down and forward, and that makes my pelvis come up a little bit. And you can almost feel this tension in the abdomen when you do that. I'm not clenching my abdomen at all, but there's this natural strength that you feel when you tilt your tailbone down and bring this part up a little bit. And it's not that we're trying to tuck it in, we're just trying to point the tailbone more down towards the earth instead of sticking out, because that's a Western posture that a lot of people have, and it's from sitting too long, where they start sitting like this. So point the tailbone down a little bit, and then you start to feel like you're just floating in space, like this. And then start by raising your hands up like this and bring them up, and notice that my arms and my shoulders are very relaxed. My shoulders aren't shrugged at all, they're just hanging loosely. And then my head is just floating in space. So I'm not like this, I'm not like this or anything. It's just that my head is floating between my shoulders like this. And then the hands are just about face level or a little bit below like this. So now that we have the posture, I'm going to face you. So let's face each other here. So we're in a comfortable stance, knees are gently bent, our tailbone is facing down toward the earth, and our hands are like this. And what we're going to do is tune in our breathing cycle with the movement of the hands. So as we inhale, our hands move apart just a little bit, and then exhale gently and bring them together but without touching. The whole time that you're breathing now, see if you can touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth and just gently place it there. In the Qigong practices, in Tai Chi and other Taoist practices, there's this thought that with the tongue touching the palate of the mouth, that helps connect the flow of energy through the front of the body. So our tongue is resting on the roof of the mouth, and we breathe in, and as you know, as you breathe in, keep your belly relaxed so that it expands on the in-breath. And on the exhale, just let your abdomen contract naturally. So breathing in, exhale. And we're not trying to do anything specific with the hands, just feel your hands in the space in between them as you breathe this way. And keep your attention between the hands and in the hands. And you'll start to notice that there seems to be this almost magnetic feeling. It's very, very subtle. And if you're thinking about other things, if you're distracted, you're likely to not feel it. So you really want to be present, feeling your body, having a slow, patient mind, and feeling that curious sensation as your hands come together, and another sensation as they're drawn apart. And as you start to breathe more relaxedly, let the hand movement be slower and wider. The eyes can just be open and taking the light in. They're not focusing on anything. You could just be looking out across the room or looking at the space between the hands. Just keep doing this with me. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to keep doing it so that we can do it together for just a couple of minutes. This is a way of introducing the energy to you, but it's also practice in itself. One extra benefit to this exercise is when you do energy work with a partner, either experimentally or for healing purposes, when you feel your partner's energy field, it's going to feel very similar to this. Not all the time, but it's a possibility. So what you're feeling with your own two hands, you might feel on your friend's body as you slowly pass your hand through their energy field at any part of their body. As you become more sensitive to the feeling between the hands, keep part of your awareness in your whole body. Feel how your whole body starts to feel the effect of relaxing this way. Your sensitivity to energy starts to spread to other parts of the body. See if you can feel your chest opening and your back relaxing. Feel the energy all the way down in your pelvis. And certainly a sense of strength in the legs, the thighs and the calf muscles and your feet. If this posture is new for you and you get tired, you could just stand up straight and continue. You don't have to do it at the exact same speed I'm doing it. If we're not in sync, that's okay. It's more important that you find a pace that makes you more sensitive to your own energy. So if you need to go slower, that's perfectly fine. If you feel heat moving throughout your body at all, that's totally normal as well. But the energetic sensations can take on any form actually, so don't be attached to heat or any other description. Just be open to whatever you experience. So you can keep going if you want. I'm going to stop here so that I can move on to showing you the next exercise.